our jam. So you can see on your right-hand side there the chat function, and we can see questions coming in from you in the audience. So what will happen is, my name's Emer Gallagher and I am going to be the chair today. And with me, I have my colleague Diane Masson. And also we have Chu, who is a student and happens also to be a student assistant with us here in the Student Guidance Centre. So what's going to happen is Chu and Diane will turn off their sort of cameras while I'm speaking the first part of it, but then we're going to bring them back in because Diane is going to chair the questions coming in from you guys in the audience, and we'll answer those, as many of those as we can during this session. And also Chu is going to speak to you a little bit more just about his experience as a student, and we'll also give you some employer perspectives as well. So we're going to kick off now with the slides and start with that. So we'll start the presentation, and Diane and Chu will lower their cameras. So I should also say that today's session, as you see in the stickies and was noticed in the registration, is being recorded. It will be available on the Degree Plus website. That's where it will be uploaded if people are wanting to review it again afterwards, but we'll not be sharing student details or cameras or anything like that in any way without your permission during this session. We expect it's going to last about 30 to 40 minutes, just depending on how many questions you have, but hoping to complete in around the half an hour time, just a little beyond. So Degree Plus, the Degree Plus Award is something that Queen's offers to its students as a means of encouraging you to get involved in the extracurricular activities that we have around Queen's, and also to give you an opportunity to get a reward for that, an opportunity to get accreditation from the university, to have it recorded on your Queen's QSIS record, and ultimately then at your graduation, also in addition to your Queen's parchment confirming your degree, you would also get a Degree Plus certificate. And that certificate would show the confirmation from the university that you had completed an activity, and it would name the specific activities that you had undertaken as well. There's a large number of activities to choose from. The last count was over 180, and I will be talking about 2 different routes to Degree Plus here. And what I'm hoping is by the time you leave today, you'll be pretty clear on what those 2 routes are, and also examples of the types of activity that would fit into those. So we're going to cover basically what Degree Plus is, why you might do it, and also then how you would go about achieving it. So we will cover all those, and please do feel free to put questions in the chat as we go along. I should also say a common question is it open to postgraduates? Is it open to Erasmus students? Those sorts of questions as well. Degree Plus is open to any Queen's student from the point of their enrolment and registration through to graduation. So undergraduates would receive a Degree Plus certificate. Postgraduate taught students, master's students and so on, they would receive a Graduate Plus certificate. And PGR students, research students, will gain a Researcher Plus certificate, providing they complete successfully and in full. The situation for Erasmus or study exchange students who are here at Queen's for 1 year is that they do not actually eligible for Degree Plus because your graduation isn't through Queen's University Belfast. So what I would say to those students is talk to your own home institution, and they may have a similar skills or employability award to Degree Plus, and that's how you would get that through for your graduation. But you are very welcome to participate in any of the approved extracurricular activities that we have available during your time at Queen's. Okay, so basically Degree Plus, what's it offering was, why would you want to gain it? It's an opportunity for you to gain valuable skills and experiences to impress employers through extracurricular activities. We all know that students who are coming to Queen's are gaining an excellent degree, but also in addition to that, employers are often interested, as well as a good degree, what else have you done? What else did you do during your time at Queen's? They're interested in that. What skills did you develop from that? How challenging and stretching were those experiences? So those are usually the best ones. The ones that genuinely stretch and challenge you are usually the ones that people enjoy most. You will get the accreditation from Queen's. But also another important part of this for us, and one of the reasons that the Careers Service is heavily involved and the Graduate School are heavily involved in this, is that we also want you to learn and gain practice in how to articulate the enhanced skills and experiences that you're gaining from Degree Plus and the extracurricular activities that you've engaged in, so that you can convey those successfully and with impact to an employer when you're in an interview or other situation. Or it could be another organisation or something that you want for your own personal progression in life, being able to articulate these things, being able to provide examples of how they've helped you, how you have your employability has developed through them, and how they might meet requirements of an employer in the context of a job, and things like that are an important skill too. And I've mentioned already the three models, the Degree Plus, Graduate Plus and Researcher Plus. I'm also highlighting as well key contact points. You can email us directly at degreeplus@QUB, the email, but I would draw your attention as well to the Degree Plus website, because there is a lot of information. That is a key point for you. That is where you'll find information telling you, and just to refer back to in terms of how do you get Degree Plus, what is it, but also more importantly, there are activity menus there. So I mentioned that we've about 180 different types. Those are there on the Degree Plus website. I'm also going to refer to, in terms of the combined experience route, to an advert on My Future. And if you're a postgraduate research student, postgraduate research students only, your queries would go to pgskills@qub.ac.uk rather than to Degree Plus. Okay, so as I mentioned, all the activities, extracurricular, not part of your degree. If it's to do with your degree, any part of your degree, your placement as part of your degree or anything like that, it would not be Degree Plus. It's everything outside. It could be things like a Careers Service development programme, Student Union inspiring leaders or volunteering work, or handy helpers, things like that, Language Centre, some external organisations like Belfast Hills, certain things like Red Cross, those types of things, those are also potentially eligible for Degree Plus if they have been approved and are noted in our menus. So you can do it, as I said, from any time from you first enrolled. It's an employability enhancement. It's all about your skills and experiential development and networking. And if completed in full, which includes some form of you practicing articulating what you've gained from the experience back to the activity provider or to us in Degree Plus via the combined experience, if you do that in full, then you receive the Degree Plus award and you're eligible for that. Okay, so roughly how many students are doing it? It's basically one of the things that we have on the website is you'll see the phrase stand out from the crowd, and that is very much what it's about. There's no compulsion to do it. It's an opportunity for people who want to differentiate themselves from the competition, from others within Queen's, and also from others who they'd be competing with in graduate or placement labour markets. So around 2,500 students each year now complete the Degree Plus award. Around half of them will actually bank those early, so you do not need to leave it all off until final year. You can start doing Degree Plus or gain an accreditation in first year or second year. You don't have to leave it all off to the end. And a number of students, including Chu, who we're going to talk to in a moment, have completed more than one Degree Plus activity, and that is also will be shown on his Degree Plus certificate when he gets that at graduation. We have provider verified activities. Those are what would have been known in the past as Route A. So that's a significant and substantial activity where a provider verifier has been in touch with us, has completed an activity approval form, and is putting on an approved experience for Queen's students. They will take you through every part of it, so including the reflective practice of articulation of what was gained from the experience at the end of that. So if you go through one of those provider verified Route A's, you're automatically getting Degree Plus. You don't need any more. They will send through a pass list to us. They get 1 of 2 points in the year where we ask them for which students have completed so far. and we immediately put that onto your QSIS record. So it's there and it's sitting, waiting for the production of your certificate at graduation. The other route that has a smaller number of students go for, around 300 last year, is the combined experience, which is one where the student, instead of completing one large substantial activity, they complete 2 smaller activities, complete an application form and submit it to us by one of the assessment deadlines. And there's 2 of those each year. Midnight on the 1st of November is the next one coming up for so for those who are graduating this winter, that will be your last chance to get combined experience, or midnight on the 1st of April for those graduating in summer. But again, if you're a first year, if you're a second year, you don't need to wait to final year to do that. You can use any of those windows to upload your application now, and we will assess it and look at it. We also do give the opportunity, if you don't meet it at the first time, we'll give you feedback on why you didn't meet it, and you do get a second opportunity to resubmit. The award is also supported by several employers, and you'll have seen in the opening slides that the main sponsors and corporate partners for Degree Plus are EY and NICFA. And EY in particular gives a lot of support to the students who are engaging in Degree Plus through a sponsorship that it provides. And so it is you'll see the attachment and the confirmation of EY's involvement and support for Degree Plus on promotional pieces throughout the university and also on your certificate. And again, NICFA is an important partner because they're very important in Northern Ireland in terms of community voluntary opportunities, and that's a popular activity for students who are engaging with Degree Plus that they often elect to go through. So as I mentioned then, just summarising, this slide is just summarising what I've said about the 2 routes of how do you get Degree Plus. The provider verified, the route A, that's one significant activity. You can choose them from the menu on the Degree Plus website. Could be taking you several days or months even to complete this, you know, in around your studies. It is the provider who confirms the past list of students who've achieved Degree Plus from those. And we put that then, we receive that in the Degree Plus team and put it on your QSIS record so that you will get your certificate. The combined experience is the one that's slightly different. It used to be known as the route B. That's 2 or more activities, tend to be smaller activities than these ones, perhaps less intensive than the provider verified routes. They certainly would be less intensive. So we would take 2 of those, 2 different types of experience. So for instance, if you were to take a part-time course over, say, 6 weeks in French, and another part-time course over 6 weeks in German. They're both language activities, so one of those would qualify as one type of activity, so you would need a second type of activity along with that. So again, on the Degree Plus menu, you'll see examples of the types of activities that there are. A second activity could be something like a part-time job that you're working in. If that's in Tesco or a supermarket, or it's in something else, that is fine. It doesn't have to be a placement or with a graduate employer. It could also be community voluntary work at home in your hometown. It could be something like engagement in a sport. It could be something like Knights of Malta or Red Cross volunteering. All those types of things. Again, I encourage you to look at the Degree Plus website and look in at the activity menu for the combined experience, and you'll see those there. So there will be, on the website, there's a menu for provider verified activities and a separate menu for the combined experience activities. So once you have completed your 2 different types of activity, you then submit an application form to us that we will assess. That application form is provided in My Future in the jobs section, actually. So it gives you, it's an application form, so it gives you your opportunity to practice and to articulate back the skills and experience that you gained through engaging through these 2 activities. You're also asked for evidence of those. Evidence could be a payslip from a part-time job. It could be an email from a voluntary group confirming that you have engaged in a certain amount of time over a certain amount of weeks with them. or Students' Union, Club of Society, as well, membership, those sorts of things. An email, a payslip, or a certificate is fine. And you submit those to us by the deadline. Okay, so why do the award? I mentioned earlier about the 2 sponsors. So, I mean, the fact that employers are putting their name to the award, and I am actually even going as far as sponsoring it, it just indicates that the level of support and interest that employers do have in students who complete these types of additional activities. First of all, it does develop your own for your own personal development and your own employability. It is valued by employers. It may not be that every employer has heard of Queen's Degree Plus Award, but they will very much be interested in the fact that you have completed a significant extracurricular activity, that you've stepped up for extra above and beyond, and also that you've managed your time in around that, you've balanced it alongside studies for a challenging degree. And also from their point of view, when you come to interview, the fact that you're able to offer to present them the validation by the university in the form of our certificate helps to give that employer security that everything that you're saying, you're able to back up with fact and also to evidence through both your degree and the Degree Plus certificate, that Queen's has taken a look at what you have done and has confirmed, yes, this student, this individual undertook those things and has met the requirements that we have set down as a university. It's also an indicator of personal initiative. Degree Plus is not compulsory. You choose to step up and accept the challenge. You can take activities that are related to a range of interests, bringing you into new areas. A lot of people try things for the first time when they are at Queen's. These so many different activities. Anything really that you're interested, there's a wealth of opportunity and activities through Degree Plus and through wider Queen's in general, whether it's sport, whether it's voluntary, whether it's part-time work, engaging in networking with employers or professional bodies. Those are all available to you during your time at Queen's, and Degree Plus helps you to make the most of that. And it's ultimately then as well for employers, it shows that in terms of your academic strengths and your academic development, you can also take those skills that you're gaining in your degree, those transferable skills, teamwork, communication, problem solving, and you can transfer those into successfully into other contexts, such as a workplace or a voluntary environment. It is also the accreditation that I mentioned, so it will help you in terms of convincing employers in terms of the additional effort, the initiative that you did show, the nature of the challenge that you undertook, etc. And also then the practice in articulating, and that is something that's important. If you're ever going, when you're going for interviews or applying for any opportunity, practice is an important thing, getting feedback from others, and Degree Plus does allow that opportunity and help you to do that. Okay, so I mentioned Degree Plus and Graduate Plus and Researcher Plus going across the board there for all students, but I'm also going to show you a little video now in terms of Degree Plus and what it does. So let me see. That's the video gone. Here we go. I'm going to start rolling the video now. It's just a couple of minutes.
A degree from Queen's makes you very employable, and one of the reasons for that is our Degree Plus programme. This Employability Award provides an opportunity to get involved with a variety of activities.
So I actually joined Insight into Management, and that actually allowed me to gain a lot of skills outside of my course. So it was accredited through Degree Plus. So the uni actually recognized my skill set outside of my course, which was very beneficial, especially if I would want to explore other routes instead of going through the biomedical field. So that kind of helped as well.
When employers such as Almac say that they want more than just a degree from candidates, I suppose what we mean is that on paper graduates look the same, they're coming with the same academic qualification. So we are really looking for candidates that have those transferable skills that really make them stand out. To gain formal evidence of your skills in those particular areas, the Degree Plus award from Queen's is absolutely invaluable in your application.
I would say they actually help us to build up a lot of those kind of tangible skills, which are quite important, and that really make us different compared to other applicants as well. So I think that helps us to stand out. So for example, in my first year, I actually got the chance to attend a career in law insight program. So they actually, I think that's like a 3 days program organized by the careers team, and students get to actually network with different lawyers, alumni in Northern Ireland. We even get to know, like, I'm a law student, so we actually get to meet with lawyers who are actually in the bar, as well as solicitors. So I think it gives us a wide, not only just a wide variety of options, but also helps us to build our network. And throughout those events, you will have workshops. So those also help us to kind of build up my leadership skills, my communication skills, which I think are really important.
I have gained real life world experience and developed my mindset to become more of a growth mindset, and it has given me a global outlook on life. I have gained skills such as my ability to adapt, my resilience, my self-reliance and independence.
You can intern at a global company, spend a semester abroad, or volunteer here or overseas. You will be challenged and you will be stretched, but you will continue to improve and build your confidence. We're here to support you, to be the best that you can be, and to ensure that you stand out from the crowd after graduation.
Okay, so in that, I'm going to ask Chu in at this point. Chu, you actually appear, one of the students who appeared in the video. And I was mentioning there earlier that students can do more than one activity. You did several Degree Plus activities. Would you like to tell the other students about that?
Okay, sure. So, hi guys, and I think for myself, I'm a law student, so I actually did some Degree Plus activity which is law related. So one of that is the Careers in Law Insight program that I mentioned in the video, but also I think I attended the Herbert Smith Freehills internship program, which both of them really helped me to kind of build my network within the legal industry. As long as I get to make lifelong friends, like all of the interns and all of the participants in the program, we are still talking until today. And there are a lot of skill sessions that supports our future career plans throughout all these events. So those are some things that I never expected that I would gain from those experiences. And also I think food is also part of the perks, because you always get a lot of really nice food during the program. So that's just part of parcel of the program. And I think besides legally related events, the Degree Plus program also allowed me to kind of work on something that is non-law related. So I also attended the Inspiring Leaders program, and also I did a language course, which is I think a German language course, and also working on campus, like my role as well in the Student Guidance Center. And those different experiences also helped me to kind of I think they don't only add really nice experience onto my CV, but I really learned a lot of different opportunity, and I even met new friends from different courses, which I would normally wouldn't meet them if I only just study or even do complete all of my courses in my law school. So I get to meet a lot of different people. Even I think my friends are doing PhD, or even students who are actually in the graduate school. But because of all these Degree Plus activities, I actually managed to kind of meet them. And I think those are all really kind of valuable and memorable experiences that I really cherish even after I leave university. So I would say, and they're all manageable with my studies and everything, so I wouldn't take up a lot of time aside of my studies. So I think it's a very interesting program that I would recommend everyone to attend and just participate in at least one Degree Plus program throughout your university years.
Thank you, Chu. Thank you for that indeed.
Welcome.
Diane, we have questions coming in from the audience for Chu and ourselves. I want to hand over to you to take us through those questions.
Yeah, some of the questions are quite specific, Emer, so I've been them, individually, but a lot of them are really around activities and what activities count. And I guess, as you said earlier in your presentation, the best source of information is the website, and that's where you'll find a full list of both the provider verified and the combined experience activities. The main thing is that it has to be an activity that you have been involved in during your time at Queen's. So you can't claim credit under Degree Plus for an activity that you were involved in when you were at school or prior to coming at Queen's. Now, that doesn't mean that it can't be an activity that you perhaps started to get involved in when you were at school or before you came to Queen's. So if it was a youth organisation or a club or a society or a sport that you were involved in prior to coming to Queen's, but you continue to be involved in while you're here, you can gain accreditation for that activity. But if, for example, it was a language course or a course or volunteering that you got credit for or that you were involved in before coming to Queen's and you're no longer doing or you're no longer involved in, then you can't claim credit for that. So hopefully that answers some of the kind of themes that have been coming through. And in terms of whether you've already some queries from students around, you know, maybe courses that they have already completed and things, activities they've already completed, and they want to know, have they already gained credit for that? Again, just see if the activity that you've been participating in is on the Degree Plus website. If it appears on the provider verified list, then there's nothing else that you need to do, and the activity provider should have provided us with the information that you have completed the programme and achieved Degree Plus. If you have any queries around that, it's best to direct them to the activity provider just to confirm that you did complete the programme and you did get the Degree Plus accreditation. In terms of when to apply, submit your application at any time. I mean, obviously the idea behind Degree Plus is to encourage students to get involved in a range of extracurricular activities. So, you know, obviously, you know, we wouldn't expect a lot of applications to be coming through from first year students because we want you to continue to do additional things throughout level 1, level 2 and level 3. Depending on your course, I guess some courses really kind of ramp up in terms of the academic side. Other professional courses like medicine and nursing, for example, by the time you get to final year, or even in medicine, once you get into 3rd year and 4th year, you maybe don't have a lot of time for extracurricular activities. So you need to kind of think, well, you know, maybe at the end of level 2, I'll submit my Degree Plus application because during 1st year and 2nd year, I did some things that I could gain credit for. That means that it's done, it's banked, and you'll still get the credit, you'll still get the accreditation then in final year. But we would encourage you to get involved in a range of activities, and on your Degree Plus parchment, we can record up to about 5. Isn't that right? About 5.
That's right. In fact, we did have
on your Degree Plus certificate, it will actually list the names of the activities that you were involved in. So we want to encourage you to do as much as possible for your own personal and professional development.
Yeah, so I was just saying there that we did have a student one year who did an amazing 7, which I do not know how they managed to do 7, but anyway, they actually got we gave them a 2nd certificate with the other 2 on it, but it's 5 on the certificate. 5 is a lot of Degree Plus to do alongside your degree, but most people do 1, but quite a few do a couple.
Yeah. Another question around multiple short courses. If you complete a provider verified activity and multiple short courses or clubs, do we have to make more than 1 application? You can only make 1 combined experience activity. So if you've participated in a number of activities that would be on the combined experience list, you need to decide, I suppose, which 3 you want to provide evidence for. It's a minimum of 3, maximum of 2, or sorry, minimum of 2, maximum of 3 activities on a combined experience application, and it's really up to you, but you can only submit 1 combined experience application. Let's see what else is coming through here. There was something there about involved in clubs and societies would you need to be? You do need to be involved. It's just not kind of turning up and dipping in. You need to attend regularly. If it's a sports club, whether it's inside Queen's or outside Queen's, you need to demonstrate that you've been committed and you've been involved in that for a number of years, that you're at the very minimum that you're turning up for training, that you're playing competitively. ideally, if you have the opportunity to take on a position of responsibility like club secretary or treasurer, that's even better, committee membership, but you do need to show a reasonable level of involvement. What else is coming through? Oh, the duration. We don't have a set number of hours or anything like that. It's really more to do with level of involvement. Wouldn't that be right, Emer?
That's right. I suppose just in terms of what you might typically expect, say for a single combined experience, would have thought at a minimal end, you're talking about at least 12, 15 hours involvement in the thing. For a provider verified activity, that could be anywhere from some certain programs that have a very, very high intensity and put under particular pressures will be at the lower, some of those are at the lower end of a minimal of about 30 to 40 hours, but some of those activities can also go up to 200 hours, or even over the period of a course of, people are doing it over a course of a year or two, at different points in time over that year or two. So it's a lot to do with the intensity of the activity. And what Diana's saying there in terms of the hours is true. Really, the point is that it's not about passively turning up and attending Degree Plus, it's about actively engaging in any of them, whether it's the combined experience activities that maybe you're put under less pressure but you're still actively involved in, or perhaps some activities are in the combined experience because we haven't got a provider who will verify them. So you can also then put forward something under the combined experience that maybe we isn't showing in on that list, but it's extracurricular, it's developing your employability, and you can self-nominate forward through the combined experience for one of the two activities. But to be a provider verified activity, it must be on that list, it must be on that menu that we have, and it's been through a formal vetting process in terms of what's happening there, what's the provider taking you through, what's the intensity of that, so it's been confirmed that way.
I mean, any of the activities on the provider verified list have been assessed by the Degree Plus panel, staff panel, as meeting the requirements for Degree Plus. So, for example, some employability programs like Insight into Management run over 3 days, but it's 3 full intense days of activity. Activities like being a class rep or a course rep obviously are less intense in terms of the number of hours, but they maybe take place over a longer period of time, where in monthly meetings you're providing reports maybe once a semester. Depends on the activity and the nature of the activity, but there's no set number of hours that you must complete. Find out if you've been successful. If it's a provider verified activity, you will find out if you've been successful by the activity provider once you've completed that particular activity. If you did a combined experience award, we assess those and then we would get back to you email to confirm that you have been successful. And as I said earlier, we do have another opportunity to submit. So if we feel that your application maybe is missing pieces of evidence or needs a bit of extra work in terms of the reflective account, we would get back to you to point that out and say, look, this is what you need to do, can you resubmit? And we do give you an opportunity to do that.
I saw a couple of questions there asking about things like Millennium volunteers, would my volunteering work contribute towards that? And that's an interesting one because it goes to the point that Diane made earlier about you must do Degree Plus during your time at Queen's. So there are some people coming to Queen's who committed Millennium Volunteers Award at school. So that would not count as Degree Plus because it wasn't done during your time at Queen's. However, when you come to Queen's, if you engage with the Students' Union Volunteer at QUB, if you engage with Volunteer SU and complete Millennium Volunteers Award with them, that is a provider verified Route A recognised activity, so you would automatically be qualifying for Degree Plus if you get that. And the one other place that I'll mention where you can also see if your Degree Plus award has as yet been accredited on your QSIS record, is on your HEAR thing called your HEAR Higher Education Academic Achievement Record, and that's in the same part of QSIS as you will find your unofficial transcript. If you look in there, you'll see there's information on how to see instructions on how to access that on your Degree Plus website as well. Or if you're really stuck, you are welcome to drop us an email at degreeplus@QUB.
Yeah. And just to reinforce that a list of all of the activities is on the Degree Plus website. In terms of what's happening this year, obviously some of those activities won't be happening because of COVID. So we are currently in the process of contacting all the activity providers just to get clarification on what's going to be running and what is not going to be running. Updating the website over the next week or two in relation to that, just by adding a note beside each activity as to whether it is running or whether it's been suspended for this academic year due to COVID-19. So just keep an eye on the website, because we will be updating it throughout the year whenever we get the most up-to-date information from activity providers. But we still hope that there will be a good range of activities available.
Yeah, and that's an important point there, because actually we've already contacted all the providers to ask them to confirm they're either running it or in an altered format what that is going to be. But a number have already contacted us to say that yes, they are running activities. They're going to be in virtual format. You'll have seen recent communications from the Students' Union about this. The Career Service is putting on a number of languages. Some of the external providers are looking at that as well. So yes, there will still be a good range of activities going on, plus the things that you may be organising yourself potentially that could go in through the combined experience. So I mean, we have a very large number of activities already accredited for normal circumstances, so we do expect still there will be a good offering there.
And if there's a course or a programme that you're interested in and it clashes with your timetable, obviously your academic programme needs to take priority, and that's just unfortunate. But the programmes normally run every year, so you may find that next year it will run at a different time, or your timetable is different, and there might be an opportunity for you to participate then.
Okay, so conscious of time here, and if you do want to contact us with further questions after this, please drop us a line at degreeplus@QUB. So I'm just going to thank you, Diane, thank you, Chu, for those. I will also show at the end where you can access the combined experience application for those of you who are graduating this winter and wanting to get in an application by the 1st of November midnight deadline. A few things, I think we have covered that piece. A few more things to say about Degree Plus and employability. We talked quite a bit there about Degree Plus as well, helping you to gain practice in articulating skills and employability development from the approved activities. And one of the reasons we include that in Degree Plus is we're hoping that that practice starts to prep you for some of the questions that you might be asked by an employer in an interview context, and that those don't take you by surprise. That for an interview, as you know, for good practice for any interview or application, it's about preparation, anticipating what questions might be in advance, and planning out what your potential answer is. So, for instance, here's a question came in from a few different employers. This one's from Pfizer. Question: please give details of your main extracurricular activities and interests. What have you contributed and what have you got out of them? Mention any posts of responsibility. So that's, again, these are questions that have been asked or commonly asked by different employers at interviews. Again, so Degree Plus, you can see how that is giving you a key opening to talk in there, a key opportunity to talk about Degree Plus, what you gained from it, what the activities were, how you showed your initiative, what problems or obstacles you overcame to gaining that, how you managed your time around it. And as I said earlier, if the employer has not heard of Queen's Degree Plus award itself, that's really immaterial, because in an interview, you're selling you. So you're able to talk to them that you've completed these activities, what you did, and also that in order to verify and satisfy by them as well, that you also went as far as gaining the additional accreditation from Queen's through the Degree Plus award. So they then know that you can present, if they wish to see it, a certificate to confirm that you had actually done those range of things. Can you give details of any extracurricular activities that you participate in, hobbies or interests? It came from several large employers. And competency-based questions, things where you're asked to give examples from different aspects of your life, for example, your work or job seeking experience, family or home responsibilities, where you're talking about maybe things like examples of situations where you showed leadership, demonstrated good strong communication skills, teamwork, those sorts of things as well. So Degree Plus is very important in helping with those. As we said, we have a full range of activities, from management and commercial awareness type activities on both strands, leadership development, extracurricular placements and internships, student union, volunteering, language centre, and a range of external organisations that engage with us and other employers, and we've mentioned a few of those during the course of the day as well. At the moment, there are opportunities going for Institute of Directors, free student membership of that, which is the career services running at the moment, and you'll have seen different activities going around from providers and student union, language centre set at the moment in emails out to students. You can, of course, also look in My Future for the combined experience application. There's the information is on that on the Degree Plus website, but the actual advert for you to upload your application is on My Future in the jobs section there. You will just search for Degree Plus. Diane did mention there are sort of with COVID-19 that we have made certain adjustments. We're contacting providers about what they're doing. We do have a midnight of 1st of April deadline, but as well, that's normally very hard and fast, but in the circumstances that we're all in at the moment, we're likely to allow an extra week for that. But if you're able and ready to put it in by midnight on the 1st of November, please do go ahead and do so. But we will be putting up a second advert a little after that, just to give a few more days, because we appreciate the situation at the moment. I think we've covered most of the questions. I don't know if there's any one final question just before I close and show people the offer to the combined experience, Diane, which is going out to students on their phones or devices at the moment.
No, there's nothing else has come in. So
okay, good stuff.
It's just to say that this webinar is being recorded and you can still submit questions after, and we'll get back to you. So if anything else comes to mind afterwards, feel free to contact us.
Yeah, it'll be all published on the Degree Plus website in the next few days. Okay, so Chu, Diane, thank you both. The students who joined us today, thank you very much for joining. We hope we've answered most of your questions. And as I say, you can keep in touch with us via the email as well, degreeplus@qub.ac.uk. And also the website is there, and we encourage you to look at that. So listen, all the very best. We wish you every success in the year ahead and hope to see some of you getting your accreditations through Degree Plus. Thank you. Stop the recording now.